Yeah, it is. There's a lot. Your job, the only thing that is guaranteed is that your job will not be the same. And that's it for everybody. So, deep therapeutic area expertise is a must. A must. I think also you need to really work on site interactions and learn from the site. Like, actually learn from the site perspective their challenges. And it's almost impossible to learn this during your monitoring visit because you have so many things that you need to finish. But you might want to go to like sites locally in your area and just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a local CRA. I just happen to live here, but I'm actually curious about site activity. Sites would either be scared or be happy that you're there, and it depends how you approach them. But if you volunteer your time or just volunteer to get to know the coordinator or the staff, you're going to learn a lot of incredible things because I think the future of research is site driven. There's a reason why technology. So here's the real. You want the real answer on the Maria's thing, not the canned answer that you'll read on Center Watch. In a data-driven world, data is everything. Period. We need to look at data like oil. The sponsors have been giving CROs control of their data. They don't have access to their own data they're paying for, really. That's changing. These sponsors are not stupid. The CRAs are in the middle because some of them work for sponsors, some work for CROs, but the sites have control of the data too because they're on the other end. They're the one, without the sites, there is no data. But the sponsors, all these site centric tools being built, that's the new buzzword, site centric, it's because it's building a new neural connection between the sponsor and the site. All the connections before ran through CROs. Now it's bypassing them and going to the sites. And it makes sense for the sponsors. And it makes some sense for the sites. They don't really have a choice in the matter, but they get a better experience, I think, in the long run. So if you're a CRA and you look at what I just described and you are working in the middle, your time is numbered, right? Like, you need to be on one of those extremes of either the site or the sponsor. And I'm not saying to quit your job right now, but I'm saying everyone has a site in their area. Just go meet with the site owner, get to know them, or the coordinators. Volunteer your time. Hey, on the weekends, I'll monitor your site for free with your QA. I just want it on my resume that I have experience as a consultant. You can even tell them I'm building a consulting practice, but I'm willing to do it for free for you to learn what pain points are so I can go sell this to other sites. The site might end up paying you, like, hey, do this every week and for like a day and we'll pay you 800 euros a week. I mean, not bad. There's little things you can do that don't have to be extreme right away, but you can take little steps towards, because that connection's happening. Sponsor direct to site, sponsor direct to site. Every day, if you go on LinkedIn and you read between the lines, that's what's happening. Sponsors want the data themselves. CROs have been, I mean, they're smart too, being the custodians of the data. But who's going to win that battle? It's going to be the sponsor. They're paying for it. You're going to be able to do more with the same people. But it won't be, if it's not at the CRO level, it's at the sponsor level. And at the sponsor level, they do everything in programs. So we have obesity programs. So you're going to be assigned to programs, most likely. And you're going to be working closer with sites, actually, than before. Because I experience CRO monitor and site and sponsor monitor. I love them both. They're all human beings. I'm a people person at the end of the day. But there's a difference between the CRAs that work at sponsors versus CROs. And there's more pride in your work, I think. And there are also like the bigger sponsors that still use CROs. They have functional service providers. So it's essentially the same thing. Like, we want you just for our studies. There's pride there too. Functionally different is when they are sponsor directed, like directly from the sponsor. They are more detail oriented and they don't care so much about filling out the report as they do resolving problems. CRO, again, Charlie Munger said, do not try to influence with reason, but with incentives. CROs incentivize days on site. All the other metrics they have, sponsors incentivize enrollment, deliverable, like deviations. There's different incentives. You cannot deny that. And so you can tell that it's almost like a higher level of work when it comes from sponsors. Now, not all of them. And there's very good ones at CROs too. I'm generalizing, but the way I see it is this, by and large. Of course, everything is in life is trade-offs. Like, of course, that's the advantage, and you should look at the micro advantages, which I consider it a micro advantage, in the context of the greater macro movements happening, which is sponsors and sites are getting more control over what's going on. CROs are evolving. Who knows what they're going to actually evolve into? I think it's going to be like a combination of tech and site networks. Like, why are the CROs all buying site networks? All of them. All of them bought site networks. Like, I mean, that's something there. Yeah, I think they will exist. I think it's going to go back to being what it was when the original idea of a CRO was invented. So Dennis Gillings, who basically invented the concept of a CRO, started Quintiles, which became IQVIA. He became a billionaire twice. He bought IQVIA twice and sold it twice. But long story, what did they do initially? Like, the goal of a CRO was to simplify the work for the sponsor. That's what it was. Over the decades, that became, how do we maximize profits for shareholders, which is not the same thing as how do we make this easier for sponsors. It's supposed to be the same thing, but the more powerful the CROs got, the more leverage they had to go towards profits over simplification. I think it's going to go back to simplification. I think they're going to either like run sites, run tech, a combination of both, or have very deep therapeutic area expertise, and have CRAs that are like in Navy SEALs for just a specialist for certain therapeutic areas. And I don't think you'll have like the big CROs 20 years from now. I think they'll be around. I don't think they're going to be doing what they're doing today.